everybody listening tonight. We're going to take a few deep breaths together to settle our energy and help with this connection. So just go ahead and close your eyes. Go ahead and roll your shoulders up to your ears and down your back. Soften your jaw, soften your belly. And we're going to take a deep breath in through your nose and then slowly release it through your mouth. So nice deep breath in. And exhale. Deep breath in. And exhale. And one more time. Just settling that energy. And here we go. All right, I'm switching my rock. Oh my goodness. All right, here we are connected.
Would they like us to start with a question?
They'd like for you to start with a question.
Okay. So I'll start with the question we were sent earlier. With the rise of the feminine energy that we're experiencing right now, how can we best support all of us during this transition?
So with the rise of the feminine energy that we're experiencing right now, how can we best support all of us through this transition?
Yes.
Thank you for your question. This is something that you'll have to pull out of your current paradigms in order to truly look at. Your ideas of feminine and masculine are very simple. And when in fact they are not complex in nature, they are more complex than you have allowed them to be thus far. So when we speak of the feminine rising on your planet, we speak more of an energy that is softer and more all-encompassing, and it is a more inward energy. It is a healing and supportive energy that each of you contain within you. So, in order to answer your question of how best to support yourself and others through the transition of a largely masculine society that is now moving into more of a feminine energy, it is important to recognize that within each of you is both masculine and feminine in unique balances. It is important to understand that has nothing to do with gender, sex. It has everything to do with the simple dynamics of energy, in and out. As you move into the feminine, they're doing air quotes. As you move into the feminine, I don't know what that means, whatever, we'll come back. As we move into the feminine energy, the current holders of masculinity as understood in your cultures will feel a destabilization and misplacement. What was once clear is no longer clear, and when that happens, it is a great upset internally and then externally. Because of that upset, the balance, there will be a grappling for a reasserting of power. When you view this reasserting of power, how you react to that will show where you are in your evolutionary state as far as moving into this feminine energy. You needn't fight it, and we speak to men embodied in man's form and body. We speak to men only to assure them that at this time, though it may seem that you do not have a place anymore, that is only because you have been so removed from your own feminine natures that you do not see where you clearly belong right now. So it is for the men to step into their feminine natures, and it is for the women to remain in neutrality when observing this process. Many women are in a place of deep healing of the masculine within them that has not allowed their own feminine to pull through. It is very important that you stay the course. It is very important that you see it through, and that each of you individually invest the time and energy into your own personal and unique healing journeys, as this will support the collective. We hope that makes sense. Please feel free to ask clarifying questions.
There is a follow-up question with that, and I'm not sure if I'm wording it right, but how can men and women begin to find their new roles that feel good to them as this energy balance is happening? I think this is more in family situations and relationship situations, perhaps.
You have hit the nail on the head in the wording of your question. Say it again.
How can men and women begin to find new roles that feel good to them as this energy is beginning to balance?
How can they find new roles that feel good to them? They find new roles that feel good to them. This may seem funny, but in fact, it is not a joke, because most of you are so removed from trusting your own feelings that in order to actually follow through in an action that is supported by only feeling, it is a true test of faith. And I guess that's that.
Does anybody have a follow-up to that before we move into big energy questions?
Does anybody have, and on Facebook, do you have any questions to follow up on that or clarify? And also, for everybody, feel free to just pop your questions in there, even if they're not about this specific topic. Oh, Megan's saying faith in what, though? Faith in your own feelings. It is difficult for most of you to trust your feelings because you have been so taught to trust your thoughts over your feelings and to trust, established thought constructs and patterns over your own feelings. When you say, trust your gut, when you say, go with the flow, those are things you say to trick yourself into going with your feelings. We are here to tell you that the next evolutionary place for humans is in a place of fully trusting your own feelings above all else. And in order to get to that place of fully trusting your own feelings, there is a massive deprogramming that must take place to pull you out of that matrix of thought patterns and systems that tell you not to listen to your own gut. Gut? Okay, it's fine. Gut.
That works. Okay. How do we see that happening with the children right now? Like we've heard of some of our friends who have kids that are very affected with the energy right now in their physical bodies, in their senses coming more online. How do we help our children through this particular time that we're in?
I'm glad you asked that, Jen. So, for those of you who are blessed to be caretakers of the small humans, This is a journey and a learning for you both. The children at this time are unlike any other who have incarnated in recent times. And that is because they are coming in much more fully possessed of their own knowing. And you are able, with your knowing and your learning and your opening, you are able to allow them to fully open instead of close them up. And so, those of you with children who are experiencing deep distress with the current energetics, this is an affirmation for you to continue on your journey and to start to interface with your children about that journey, to start to talk about the energy that is happening, to start to validate the experiences that your children are having, and to start to learn from each other and guide each other down this path. Because in a very, very short amount of time, those children who are between the ages of 9 to 14, these are the next wave. These are the next wave. They are your gift. And so it is for you to do your work and to be open and share with your children and to give them safety and comfort as they begin to remember themselves. We understand that it is distressing to be in the presence of a child who is frightened and who is experiencing things that do not make sense to their friends and family. However, please note that this is but a moment in time and the children will be okay. They are much better equipped to handle the ascension than you are. Their bodies are already halfway there. So be slow. Be patient. Be patient with the process and affirm for your children their experiences and try not to let your anxiety over their discomfort cause more anxiety and discomfort. I'm gonna roll up here just real quick because I think I had a couple Facebook questions that were connected. Okay, so will you note this really quick for me? Is that okay?
Yep.
Okay, so I have how important love and emotions are for the Purple Crescent in their culture. How will we know real versus perceived?
Okay.
What are the best ways to guide their parents? Like, well, you don't have to answer this. I'm just going to read it or write it down. So Arlene's asking, she's an aunt. How does she best guide them if their parents are not awake? So how do you interface with children who are highly sensitive and their parents are not in that place? Okay. We refer to something that I talk about a lot. I don't know how to say that differently, but they're referring to something I've said a lot that they've channeled through me quite a bit. And it is the concept of invitation. So it is very important that if you are not the parent of the child, that you respect the boundaries each parent has in place. This establishes trust. Without trust, you are violating sovereignty. So do not impose your beliefs upon the parents of these children. Instead, be supportive in the space that you are allowed and only go further when you have an invitation. Speak from your heart and not from your projected ideas of what should be or should not be. That will start to create a safety base that as the child becomes older, you will then have more ability to interface and to assist and support where necessary. Don't make the mistake of thinking because a person is not awake to your specific standards that they are not perfectly equipped to support their own child. These children chose their parents specifically for this mission. So please respect the sovereignty that is at play and keep yourself in heart space and only act when you have invitation and be mindful and respectful of boundaries. This is very important because you don't want to step in the way of a path that these small star seeds have begun to carve.
That's good.
I'm still here. I'm just turning off this heat real quick. Okay.
Good. You ready for another one?
Yes, please.
How will we know what is real versus perceived?
Okay. As a general question, Arlene, if you have a clarifier on that question, what's real versus perceived, let me know, because otherwise you're gonna get some words. you're gonna get an answer.
I'm wondering if she's asking when you were talking about intuition and how that next stage is learning to trust what we feel, having faith in our feelings.
Okay, that makes sense. And like, so looping back around, you're asking when you're asked to trust your feelings, how do you know if your feelings are real versus perceived? Okay, I gotcha. Thank you, Jen. Okay. So the answer to this question is, unfortunately, a riddle-like answer. We would like to make it not so, but unfortunately, it is so. Reality is perception. We know you have heard this. We know that many of you are looking for solid ground in all ways and a standard by which to measure things and to determine their level of reality. Unfortunately, you are moving out of the third dimension. And so you may not keep your third dimensional reality if you would like to bring it with you into other dimensions. You may drop back into the third dimension where there is good and bad and right and wrong and constructs within which to play. There is nothing wrong with that. However, if you are called to move forward and to move into this new dimensional space, it's important to understand that your perception creates what you perceive as reality and will be your experience. For example, if you perceive, this is so weird. Really? Okay. If you perceive a person who wears leather goods as a bad human, your reality will be shaped by constant triggers of seeing humans using leather inappropriately and you being upset about it. There's leather a lot of places that you frequent. And so you will constantly be in a state of anxiety, agitation, anger, frustration, ... This perception is now your reality because you have taken a thought and turned it into a truth for yourself. We ask you to fill in the blank of leather with something that is actually enjoyable and make that your truth and start to build your world around that, understanding that it will be much more enjoyable for you if you choose something that will not aggravate you at every turn. It is your choice. We hope that this makes sense. I mean, maybe it does.
That's actually understandable.
Okay, good, because I was like, leather? Okay.
So one of the other Facebook questions was, how important is love and emotions for those in the Purple Crescent culture, the Andromedan culture?
Thank you for this question. How important are love and emotions in the Andromedan culture? And I just want to note that 28 minutes later, Facebook is telling everybody I'm live. So, in order to answer this question, we must first explain to you that we, the Purple, oh my God, they're using air quotes again, the Purple Crescent Council, are currently existing in the Andromedan Earth sphere at about the 6th to 7th dimension. So imagine that for us, our 5th dimension is your 3rd dimension. So we're just popped up a few levels in dimensional space that we inhabit. So there are those in the Andromedan Earth sphere currently in the 5th dimensional space, and then there are those living in the 7th and the 8th dimensions that we will focus on for this conversation. Love is everything. Love is how we create connection and move from one point to the other. But we understand your question might be of a more physical nature, as in love between one being versus another. And we will tell you that we do have love between beings in the 6th and 7th dimension. In fact, we have love between beings and what you would consider non-sentient beings.
Like robots?
Oh my God, hold on a second. I feel like they're having fun with me right now. Okay, are you being serious though? No, actually they're being serious, but they are having fun too. Okay, they're saying, do you know how you go out into nature and feel at one with nature and feel in awe of the beauty and feel like you have never seen a more beautiful tree, or a leaf is so perfect in its form that it brings you to tears? This is something that we have between ourselves and what you call non-sentient beings. In the higher dimensions, the sentience of what you feel are non-sentient beings is very apparent. And we do converse with what you call trees. We do converse with the water. We do have a relationship with the air. We have vast love and vast relationship connections that are, at this point, evolved to a place of non-ownership, and that love is available to all. There are those who choose to create a love bubble you choose to create a love bubble. And in this love bubble, there can be 2, 4, 6, 8, 12 beings that have connected together in such a way that when they connect energies, it is something that you would consider orgasmic in experience. We look forward to having this conversation later when you have a better understanding of fifth dimensional relationship and love. But we felt it was a wonderful time to give you a snapshot into what is coming and the type of love you will be experiencing simply by existing and opening yourself to what is available right where you are. Hi, Eli.
Hi, Eli. This sounds very interesting and exciting to dig into on a different day, or not a different day, but when we're ready for it, I guess.
I mean, whatevs, right?
Do you want to do a Facebook check before we do the big energy questions? I feel like it'll shift our direction a bit, so.
Does anybody have any other questions for them about the love stuff before we do a shift? You just let me know. Lisa says thank you. Thank you for asking that question, because that was like me being able to feel in that when they were explaining it to me. Whew, boy, does that feel so good.
I enjoyed watching your face.
Yeah, I was like, oh, this feels wonderful. Put me in one of those love bubbles. Okay, I think we're good.
We're good? Okay, so there's been some questions about the big energy buildup and stuff we're feeling, but this specific question is, do the earthquakes and volcanoes have anything to do with people becoming awakened, meditating, and grounding into the earth?
Ooh, wait, I'm sorry. Hold on one second.
Yeah.
Sorry. We had a love question pop up I want to do real quick.
Yep, go ahead.
So Tara's asking, will our current love experience change with current partners? Had to answer that one.
Yes, please do.
So our answer to that is a question for you. Do you wish it to change? Do you wish for your current love experience to change with the partners that you are currently with? Because we have to ask that. You have to remember always that you are in possession of free will, and your free will dictates a lot of your experience. If you are currently in relationship with a person and you are enamored of this relationship, and it feels loving and reciprocal and wonderful to you to behold and be part of, there is no reason on earth that should change. However, if you are in a relationship that feels in direct opposition to who you are and who you are becoming, if you are in a relationship that holds you down and makes you feel heavy, if you are in a relationship where you do not recognize yourself outside of this relationship and it is no longer serving your best and highest good, do you want a different type of relationship? If the answer is yes, you are supported in your growth and movement towards understanding and experiencing relationships in a new way. The energies support your learning and integration, but they do not force it upon you. So you will only be moved into experiences that you want to have, and you still retain your ability to choose your path, and who you choose to be in relationship with will always be your own choice. I feel like I was channeling like mom, or you know what I mean? or whatever. You know what I mean?
It was a very different tone. It was a little denser that way of a mom energy.
Okay, so I hope that answers your question, Tara.
It sounds like it goes back to we can choose the experiences we want to have.
Yeah.
We get to retain having a choice in what we want that to be. So, either good or you just want to shake it up. So, so good.
Pick your poison. All right, go ahead. Hit us with it, Jen.
Okay, so do the earthquakes and volcanoes have anything to do with people becoming awakened, meditating, and grounding into the earth? Essentially, is our energy affecting what's happening in the earth right now?
Okay, so is our energy affecting what's happening in the earth? And do the earthquakes and volcanoes...
Is it happening because of people being awakened and grounding their energy into the earth?
Okay, so are the earthquakes and volcanoes being caused by the mass awakenings? Okay, thank you. Claudia. Okay, thank you for this question. Yes. Just kidding. Yes is the beginning of the answer. It continues because it is important to understand the energetics of what you are calling ascension. As the earth is shifting into a higher vibrational spin, so is everything else. As you all are recognizing and lending your energies to these upgrades and integrations, you are carrying inside of you the new frequency. So every time you understand where you are in the ascension process, every time you heal, every time you open your heart instead of closing it, every time you speak from growth instead of fear, you assist the earth itself in picking up the pace. So, in a way, you could say that your awakening is adding to what you perceive as a violent outcome of the earth's, what is that? Crest. They went like this. So that is not to say you should slow down, simply that it is a symbiotic process. And if you were not engaging in it, it would be worse. Your love and thoughts are big. And so if you would like to, we do encourage you to assist the earth so that you may cushion her and assist her through her transition. That is what Sarah, that is what I have been channeling through with activations on occasion. They're like, not always. On occasion, when we connect with the earth grid and send our love to the earth grid. They would like me to do more of that. Got it. When you wake up in the morning, you can spare a moment to send your love to the earth grid. It's only a thought. Send your love to the earth grid. Speak to her as though she were truly your mother, as she is. The earth itself is sentient. Planets are sentient. You will understand this more as vibration ascends and as you move into different dimensional frequency of understanding. But the earth itself can feel. The earth itself can connect with you and speak. Send your love. send your love and trust that your love is being received. Also send your other stuff. Send your fear, doubt, anxiety. Send all of your unwanted energy into the earth as well. And here's why. All energy is usable energy. So in fact, while it is amazing and incredible to send the earth our love, and we should every single day, it is equally helpful if you mindfully send the earth all of your ick energy, because it usually holds a very, very strong charge, okay? Example, it's Aries season and you may be feeling angry. Send your anger into the earth, but don't be angry at the earth. Send your anger into the earth. So you take a nice deep breath in, feet on the floor, and on your inhale, you're pulling all of the anger up into your breath, out of your body, and then send it down. And make sure you push. And send that energy down into the earth, because she can transmute that and use it for whatever she needs. So you're helping her to shore up her storage of energy, so to speak. Arlene is asking, are there specific crystal grids which would assist? We are not, I'm sorry, Arlene. We are not concerned about your different crystals and grids. However, we understand, and we do not deny the power of the crystals. That is not what we are saying. Simply that this is a very human territory. So please look to your humans to guide you in this. It is our understanding from our conversations with me. So I'm guessing these are conversations I don't even know about, but I guess I talk to them. I talk to them in astral, they're saying, and we have discussions. I guess we've talked about this. So they're saying that it appears at this time that with the crystals, the best thing to do is simply ask which ones want to work with you and go there and move in that sphere. Crystals are energy holders or energy emitters or energy, what's the opposite of emit?
Are you trying to say like absorb?
Thank you.
Things in,
And
attract?
yes. I mean, literally what I've been saying all week. Thank you, Sarah. Yeah, so anyway, crystals manipulate energy at that level. So you can program them. This is Sarah. You can program them however you want to program them. And the grids themselves, you should follow your gut with how you create them. But good rule of thumb is to have some sort of a stone in a center position that is pointing in a direction, and then feel into the flow of the way the energy is moving out of your crystal so that you can create a nice energetic flow, right? And what are you creating that grid for? If you're creating a grid to send energy into the earth, you don't necessarily need that point to go up, because that's going the wrong way, right? So you're going to want to think of how you're going to send the energy into the earth with that grid. So use your own inner knowing to decode this for yourself, because it's going to look different for everybody else, but you have that knowledge inside of you already, and you actually can't mess it up, so don't worry. But you don't need any tools to send love into the earth or to send your negative energy into the earth itself. That is there for you all the time. Did you ask a question? The big one?
That was the one about the earthquakes and stuff, but something is happening at the moment because I have just the wildest wave of nausea. My head is ringing like a gong, and I'm getting the spins.
And you see what time it is, right?
I do.
Okay.
it has started building. So I mean, maybe we can ask them to help us understand like this big.
I already have it. They're laughing.
Yeah, of course.
They're like, when were you gonna ask the biggest question you have?
Tomorrow's the 25th of March. Tell us some things. Yes.
Oh, is it tomorrow the 25th? I thought it was tomorrow. Okay, so today's the 24th.
Oh no, maybe it is tomorrow's the 26th. I'm sorry. Tomorrow is Friday the 26th.
Thank you.
Yes.
Ah, Jen. Okay, so I want to ask this as well because we've been hearing so much about the 26th of March and the days following that, moving into the end of the month. And we would just like to ask the Purple Crescent if they can weigh in on what's happening right now with the energy, what we can expect here on Earth for the next 3 days, what's happening on the 26th, what can you share to assist us? Okay. Tomorrow, the 26th of March, is the first of 3 major events in 2021. These 3 events will lead you into the golden age. Many of you are truly experiencing the energy in a way you have never experienced it before. And that is because your ascension process has been greatly accelerated with the movement into fire energy. And for those asking, indeed, we do also very closely follow the astrology of the earth. I wasn't asking. Okay, one of you must have. So what does this mean? One of 3 events leading to the opening of the golden age. Tomorrow, the energies will be as such that anything you can truly and honestly conceive of can be made manifest into material form. Some of you will do this. Many of you will overthink it and you will not. That is okay. But we say this only to say that your thoughts are holding a frequency that as we move into what you are calling March 26th, this energy will amplify everything. So it is very important as you move into this portal to hold your high note. Hold the high note for yourself. We ask you not to be overly concerned with the world at large during the next few days. You will be asked to worry about the world at large. Every time you are asked to worry about the world at large, we would advise you to take a moment and instead look at your world at small. When you are asked to look outside of yourself in a collective manner, we have seen the pattern that this is most always because there is a mass event taking place on your Earth sphere. And they would like those who are orchestrating said events for all of your energy to assist them in the creation of said events. If you do not give your energy outside of yourself during mass chaotic events, you will greatly minimize their impact. They will not be able to be what they could be. It is a choosing of where to send your energy. You must choose this. We have been saying to many of you through many different channels to please disconnect yourself from the news outlets. Disconnect yourself from anything that takes you out of source. Disconnect yourself from energies that make you feel bad, that make you feel doubtful and anxious. And instead, put your energies in the places where you feel the most love and joy, where you feel cared for, and where you feel honest. The events of the next 3 days have many possibilities within them. We see several. We do not feel comfortable speaking any. And we apologize for this, for we understand your need to know. However, you are not in control of your manifesting at this time. And so, if we were to feed you a projection, we have full faith you would make it happen. We will not be responsible for these things. So instead, we ask you to, no matter what, remember who you are, what you are, and why you are. Turn your energy inward when you are told to do the opposite. Remain in your heart space. Do not succumb to fear-based rhetoric. When you have anxieties and fear, care for yourself. Send the energy down into the earth itself to be transmuted. Create a channel of yourself and flow it in. This will help. We will say this. The information on the 26, 27, 28 is pointing towards mass event. There will be another mass event in June. There will be another mass event in December. Trust in the flow of these natural energetic occurrences. Always have your equinoxes and your solstices created the change points. Feed the energy by feeding yourself. Do your inner healing and stay in your heart center. Be mindful of not projecting your energy into future scenarios. Stay here. Here, here, here. We hope that that is helpful and sufficient to give you actionable, I don't even know what that means. I don't think, that's not a word. No, to give you, they were going to say like actionable energy, but I don't think that's what they mean. I think it's like to give you something to do, like to give you a place to put your concentration and your energy and to do something. Lisa says, pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Basically. Woo!
Actually, I think it's very helpful, and it's a great reminder to, like, not even think about the other possibilities, because, like they said, if we can manifest that quickly, then we need to be focused on the other things that are important for us in our lives and our journey, and let the other things fizzle.
Exactly. And, you know, not to forget, guys, this is also the full moon.
Yes.
And
super moon.
It's the first of 4 supermoons. So
Yes.
Manifesting is about to be, it's already been so intense, but it's about to be on, oh my God, you said I couldn't say this, but now I'm about to say it, on fleek. Jen's like covering her face. She's covering her face. They're gonna kick me off of, are they gonna kick me off of TikTok?
Probably.
So, hold on, I just want to make sure if they have anything else they want to say before we... Okay, so listen. What? I don't even know how to say this because it's so weird. Okay, so they're saying that They have big plans for us on the full moon. Apparently I've been channeling them on the full moon calls, and I didn't know that. They have big plans on the full moon. They're connected. They are collaborating with other constellations. They're collaborating. Okay, I don't know this. With the lupins?
Really?
Do you know that word?
Well, I know it because like lupine or lupin, it's like wolf. It's like a wolf. I believe that's even like when you list like in Latin the species and stuff for wolves, and that's how you get werewolves and all that kind of situation in myth and lore. So is it like a wolf energy?
Yeah. Exactly, Jen. Okay, so they're collaborating with the lupins and why does this have to be like this? The Praesius. The lupins and the Praesius.
I need to look that one up, sorry.
I've never heard of this. Anyway, so they said they're collaborating with the lupins and the Praesius for the full moon to bring some sort of a transmission through. I don't really know. They're not saying anything else about that. They just wanted you to know. They wanted me to know. They wanted me to know to be prepared for that so that I can have what? Oh, okay. So I can have my wolf things on the altar for the lupins.
Ka. Do you know where he's at?
Who's? Oh, wait.
Your wolf skull, Ka?
I don't know where he is. He's around. Like he's around here. No, I know where he is. He's on my manifest altar. Okay, guys. Well, this should be a riot. Okay. As always. He's not in the car, Claudia. Arlene, look up lupin. I think coyotes might be in the same family. So wolf energy is coming. I don't know what the Praesius is. If you are not part of Restoration and you'd like to join the full moon call on Saturday, you can do that for free. Use code ACTIVATE. I think if you go to my Instagram profile, there's a link that says join Restoration or something. If not, just send me a DM and I'll help you out. The more the merrier on this call, right? It sounds like a hoot. Okay. All right. Okay, cool. All right, they're saying goodbye and thank you for being here. Always a pleasure, and thank you, Jen.
Thank you.
Okay, well that was interesting. Well, thank you all for being here for the 7th installment of Channeling with the Purple Crescent. Thank you for all of your amazing questions. They were really, really awesome and so insightful, and I'm grateful to have that feeling. That love bubble was really nice. So that was cool. I will be back in the morning, 8:30 a.m. for the weekend energy update, and we'll see what that's all about. Sending you guys lots of love, and this will be up on the podcast and maybe YouTube, we'll see, but podcast for sure if you would like to listen again. So thank you so much. If you'd enjoy, please share, subscribe, tell your friends, and I'll see you in the morning. Mwah!
Bye.
Bye, honey. I know, I love the love bubble. Good night, you guys. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and follow.